Hello, I'm Natalie Becker. Welcome to It's Africa's Time. Today we travel in Nigeria with global giants Dangote and Coca-Cola to discuss their training programs, small business incentives and corporate social investments. We focus on the impact of these initiatives on grassroots transformation within the Nigerian society and in particular on the long-term benefits for women and unemployed youth. But first, we chat with Moisolo Akpojiu from the United Nations Development Programme about inclusive business in Africa.
For encouraging African governments to set new benchmarks, it's going to be about actually negotiating with the elites who right now have got control of all the production factors in Africa. They've got control of the politics as well, to create greater space for the poor, to actually have a voice in the way that things are run, to actually have a say in the way that they want to see development and what should be going on. We're also working with government to ensure that whatever policies are created, whatever programs are designed and are being implemented, take into consideration issues that affect the poor. One way in which we're instrumental in ensuring that SMEs are taken into consideration, so the capacities are going to be built, availing of opportunities provided within those value chains, and for linking them to big business. There's a lot of conflicts in different parts of Africa, and that is bringing home to us the need for greater involvement of the masses. And once people are beginning to sit up to recognize that, yes, the poor also have to be listened to, then it won't be such a long distance to persuading them to say, create more space and get them to be more involved.
The overall vision of Dangote Group is trying to transform sub-Saharan Africa and eventually maybe Africa as a whole. Cement is one of the key areas that we believe will be able to transform Africa with. We have rolled out massive expansion plans, of which I believe in the next 2.5 years, in cement alone, we'll be producing 55 million tons in about 16 African countries, which is quite a lot.
We are into various type of activities, including we are in integrated cement plants, we are putting up grinding plants, and we are putting up cement terminals.
The journey of Dangote Cement started in the year 2000, and today there are 3 Nigerian plants all using superior technology unrivaled in Europe or the US. The company's focus is to produce extensive quantities of high-quality cement, with an emphasis on social and environmental responsibility for the business's long-term sustainability. The Obajana plant, the single largest cement plant in sub-Saharan Africa, produces over 10 million metric tons per annum.
In Nigeria, which was the second largest or the first largest importer of cement in the world, virtually all the importation has gone. So every single importer has gone into manufacturing. So it has really transformed the country. It has conserved a lot of foreign exchange, because cement used to be a major drain on the government's resources for foreign exchange. Generated a huge employment potential, because all this manufacturing activity coming in, exploitation of the raw material which is available in the ground, so there is a huge value addition within the country, and it has been a big boost to the economy. We brought in the experts from these various countries, trained, retrained and retrained, and thus we developed a pool of people who could manage those plants. Now we've started going to rapid expansion. So we realized that this is a key activity for us. So we started the Dangote Academy in Obajana, where we had the first cement plant.
Yes, there are graduates out there, but most of them do not have the immediate skills that the companies require. It's our role as governments, as businesses, to create that space. And I think we give a lot of lip service to issues of youth, but we're actually not doing enough to allow them to, participate in the transformation. And they are the ones who are really going to carry out the transformation.
We work with the best technical training provider in Nigeria, which is ITF, and they have been able to work a curriculum designed with us, which is made for us. And it's 3 months of skills acquisition at their training center in Lagos. After that, these trainees are moved to our plant, where they undergo in-plant training.
Over the last 5 years or so, we have collaborated with Dangote Group, especially in the area of train the trainers of the Dangote Technical Academy. We have offered them courses in electrical, electronic maintenance, in mechanical, machine fittings, in welding and metal fabrication, and in instrumentation and process control.
Right now, my trainees are working on surface wiring system. 2 points of lights controlled by individual switches. We make use of this board to do the practical installation work. Then the second aspect is industrial installation work. For industrial installation work, we deal with electromechanical controllers.
Then we have this like a simulator where we use in trainees. It's called the electromechanical controllers.
It would have been difficult getting a job without the Dangote Training Academy because we have fast-growing industries here. With your skills and vocational training, you can gain employment easily. I would like to see myself working in Dangote Group, holding a good post, and also impact on others what have been impacted in me.
Within 3 years, the Academy has trained and absorbed almost 600 people for employment within the group. It is also an umbrella organization which addresses the overall training and talent development needs of the group. Therefore, in addition to the provision of technical training, management development programs have also been instituted for existing staff members in the areas of communication and IT, as well as supervisory development.
Well, the strategic objective, first of all, is to broaden the knowledge base. And secondly, to make sure that, yes, whenever we need people to employ who can actually work, employable people, that academy will produce them. And it's not only for us. When we finish training them, you can either work for us or we'll look for a job for you elsewhere.
We also were mindful of the fact that we have an obligation to the society. People in one batch, 85% we take and absorb them within the company, and balance 15%. We leave it out, give it to the industry by training them free of cost for them to be absorbed in any company. Dangote Academy in Nigeria may not be able or may not be sufficient to fulfill the requirements of our businesses in other parts of Africa. So our plan is also to look at very seriously build 2 more satellite Dangote academies, one in Western and Central Africa. The country has not been decided, could be Senegal or could be any other French-speaking country, and one in South Africa and East Africa.
And this academy, we are now trying to transform that academy into a university so that we are now training all our artisans, our engineers, including taking them abroad for a course.
With a population of 170 million, there are lots of Nigerians, and the resources that are available to a bank like ours is quite limited. The government needs to concentrate a lot of resources in developing the infrastructure, which in Nigeria has a lot of resources that can be developed to impact our economy. And we found that at the bottom of the pyramid and the small and medium enterprises, mostly is a family business, and they don't have a structure. It's just more problematic, and the bankers see it as really high risk. So we did approach Aliko Dangote to say this is the kind of problem that we have.
The Dangote Group responded by designing a joint financial program with the Bank of Industry, where each would contribute 10 billion naira or $70 million to a loan fund. The Dangote Foundation at a 0 interest rate and the bank at a reduced rate of 10%. Beneficiaries therefore have access to loan funding at an average interest of only 5% instead of the national average, which is around 25%.
Well, the first cycle, right now we've had just a little under 150 groups, and the groups, they range from 8 people to 15. Agribusiness, value addition, mining, value addition, and we have a few distributors, traders, because we also need the logistics to move the goods from where they're produced to the market that can grow their businesses so they become medium. Then each one of them sometimes employs 5 people, and then those that sell it, and those from which they buy the raw material, and those that from which they buy the machines. So you can see how it actually impacts the entire system.
And then we have another part, which is a grant. This grant, we are going to local governments, 1,000 women per local government, so that they can start their petty trading. It keeps them busy. And then on the other part, the government will use their money to train them. But the money that we're giving is like a seed money for them to start business or to increase their working capital.
At the bottom of the pyramid, it's huge. So far, we've reached just a little over 200,000 women. We started in January. Individuals can simply get up and create a business opportunity, provide a service, use their intellectual property, use their productive resources, borrow money, and create value. As we see democracy taking root in Nigeria, then the role of the private sector becomes more aligned and collaborative with government. I think it's also a question of what then is your role on the philanthropic side, in terms of advocacy, in terms of policy, in terms of what you look at, and how that then enables your business to also continue to thrive. It's a foundation that was established by Mr. Dangote in 1993. He felt it was very important that as his business was growing, the give back to society would also grow. The level of giving last year was $100 million. So the programs have become quite large in health. The focus is on providing clean water and sanitation to communities, looking at strengthening healthcare facilities. We are looking at programs that have scale, that complement what government is doing, that demonstrate different ways of doing business. But I think one can only look to see Dangote Foundation doing more and more. Last but not least, Dangote Foundation will always be a good corporate citizen during times of disasters. So last year, Nigeria had massive floods. The group made the largest donation to that national effort.
In Nigeria here, we have a teeming young population. We have people with a lot of talent. We have entrepreneurs that are ready to go. And you know that when you're very talented and you're almost a genius and you do not have anything to do, you just can cause trouble. So one is for security in our country. Two, it will impact on our GDP. We have a saying here that you shouldn't go to sleep if your neighbor is awake. So if we all have food to eat, and we all can be productive and respectable citizens of the country, I think we'll have just a more beautiful and peaceful place.
Every single country out of these 54 or 55 countries in Africa are blessed with a lot of things. The thing that we lack is actually the entrepreneurs to drive this same trajectory the Asian tigers had. But it's going to come.